Have you ever met an executive? How'd you handle yourself? Were you nervous? Were you shy? Did you try to make yourself sound grander than you are? Did you jump into the limelight trying to impress, or did you shrink away intimidated? Executives are humans just like the rest of us, so why does the thought of working with a CEO conjure up so much anxiety? We've all been there. We tend to associate with people at our same station or same level, so when we have the opportunity to work with someone several levels up, of course, you feel nervous, perhaps inadequate, perhaps unworthy. But working with an executive is no different than working with anyone else. It doesn't matter what the person's title is. They're people just like the rest of us. So be courteous, the same as you would any stranger in a grocery store, for example. Just be cool. That's it. Now you're ready. Well, not so fast. Just be cool. Did you catch that? It's not so easy, right? Look, we all want to be successful. We tend to see these people as successful people. What are they doing that I'm not? What did they do to get here? How do I get there? Can they help me move up? There's a million thoughts going through your mind. So when you actually have the opportunity to meet someone at that level, you're already at a disadvantage. You have all these questions. You have all these built-up expectations. Your mind is racing 100 miles a minute. But you want to leave a good first impression. So you put all this pressure on yourself, and then after being introduced, you respond, my name is, and all those thoughts come out at once. So imagine that socially awkward guy trying to talk to the girl of his dreams for the first time. Pretty bad, right? You want to know who else noticed? Well, that executive, of course. Imagine that. All you wanted to do was put your best foot forward and leave a good impression. But that executive's thinking, what's wrong with that guy? Completely the opposite of what you wanted. Or maybe you're the type of person that talks when you're under pressure. You don't want there to be any dead air in the conversation. Did I break eye contact? I need to control the conversation to show my leadership skills. Meanwhile, that executive's thinking, wow, this guy talks a lot. I just want to go to lunch. See what I mean? It's not so easy to just be cool. Why is that? We do it to ourselves. All those built-up expectations, you're the one putting all that undue pressure on yourself. Would you act the same way if you didn't know who they were? What if you were playing pickup basketball with some people you didn't know? The game gets intense and you start jawing back and forth. You can't guard me. Watch them ankles. That's nothing but net. All day, baby. I can do this all day. And then Monday morning rolls around and we'd like to introduce our new CEO. It turns out to be the guy you were talking smack to. How embarrassing, right? How do you handle yourself? I'm pretty sure it goes something like this. You catch that CEO off to the side somewhere, maybe in a break room, and say something like, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know, but we had a pretty good game, right? And he responds, yeah, we worked up a sweat, and then some regular chit-chat happens. And that's that. In that arc of a story, did you notice any buildup of anxiety or pressure? Did you go into that conversation with those preconceived notions about my career advancement? No. And that's the point. Because truthfully, we aren't comparing apples to apples. You already met this person on the basketball court. Then you had a follow-up conversation. That nuance makes all the difference. So if we apply this to the original scenario where you were introduced, it's as simple as this. Hello, this is our CEO, and you reply, hi, my name is such and such. It's nice to meet you. And that's it. That's all there is to it. That's a pleasant introduction. Maybe it's memorable, maybe it's not. But at the very least, it's not a disaster, which is memorable for all the wrong reasons. This seemingly insignificant interaction is a game changer. Without even realizing it, you pick up cues. Did they seem nice, or mean, or focused, or distracted? You pick these things up, and then you build a sort of mental profile for the person. Maybe that profile's right, or maybe it's wrong. It doesn't matter. What it allows you to do is trim down your questions, trim down your expectations, trim down your fear. A lot of times this all happens subconsciously. Imagine your brain filled with 20 questions before the introduction. Then after that quick interaction, suddenly you're like, I'd really like to know what he thinks about X. Just one question. See how that works? Now you can focus on that one idea. Now it's back to the same old method that we're all used to, setting a goal and attaining it. The goal, I would like to ask X. How do I do it? You think it through. You come up with a plan. You think about what his responses could be. You think about follow-up questions. This is your opportunity to shine. This is your opportunity to make your first impression. And you know what they say, you only have one chance to make a first impression? Well, they're not lying. your first impression was, "Hi, how are you? All good and well." Remember that? But this was your first impression from your first conversation. As you build up these firsts, that executive will build a mental profile for you. Moral of the story? Just be cool. First interaction, "Hi, how are you?" Save the fireworks for the second interaction. That puts the odds in your favor. And I know what you're thinking. What if there isn't a second interaction? Okay, so what? What's the alternative? Blowing it during that first introduction? Neither scenario really moved the needle, but by waiting until the second interaction, you will have, one, left a pleasant impression. Who knows if you'll ever see this person again? Maybe 10 years down the line somewhere. But also, two, you will have gone through that mental exercise. You will have shaped your plan for the follow-up conversation. Fast forward to another opportunity to meet an executive. If during that initial introduction, they match up with that other mental profile, well, then you already have a game plan. You're already at ease. So as the years go by and your experience grows, you will have created all these mental profiles and scenarios. Before you even realize it, you'll be able to have meaningful conversation with these types of executive level players. You'll have that level of comfort. Oh, quick side note. This works for everyone, not just executives. Have you ever seen those people that seem comfortable with everyone? Maybe you're naturally gifted with this skill, but if you aren't, this little exercise can help you feel prepared for those situations to just be cool. But this skill doesn't just apply to you meeting executives. This is an innate skill that all executives have. It doesn't matter which discipline they work in, whether it's technology or finance or operations or whatever. The number one responsibility for all executives is people. People are the number one resource. People are the ones that get the job done. And let's not forget that at the end of it all, executives are managers, and managers manage people. This skill and ability to be comfortable with people will help you moving forward. It'll help you professionally as you navigate the waters. And no one knows this more than me. Watch this video to see the challenges I dealt with as I moved into upper management.